Welcome to our interval entertainment. I'm here with Pete Thomas, who is a green, non-burnery artist, and he makes things such as this wonderful cross here out of recycled material, such as this piece here. So, thanks for joining us today, Pete. Do you want to just explain a little bit about what you do? I see we've got some of your work here.
Yeah, I'm going to start at the beginning. I had a really mean wood shop teacher in 7th grade, and I took metal shop in 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, both semesters every year, and I took every class they had at the college. But I originally came up the day after high school, 41 years ago this summer, to do gold mining. I did all the mining claim assessment work, the survey work, and I worked in the mill about 9 months out of the year. In the field doing mining claim assessment work 2 to 3 months, and in the mill 9 to 10 months out of the year, where I was a welder. I told them I can pretty much weld anything you got. I had never welded anything but in the flat position in a booth. But anyway, after 27 years of gold mining, working at Kerr McGee, and going into construction, I opened my own shop. And it has regressed back to a blacksmith shop. Every month I hang another new tool up in the rafters and break out another 100-year-old tool. And I'll show you what I got. Here's the hardest thing for a blacksmith to find is iron. They haven't made actual iron in over 100 years. It has grain like wood, and it can be easily forge welded. You can flip it over, get it to a yellow heat, dip it in sand or flux, and pound it right together. Anyway, I'm gonna turn this one into a bunch more crosses. We plug welded the rivet holes shut. I'll chop it into sections and put it in the forge. Hopefully it won't shred and fall into pieces. Sometimes it just goes like spaghetti on you. You get it a little bit hotter and you can pound it right back together though. Pretty forgiving.
So that turns into this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is something else that you've made. You want to talk about this?
This is just everyday necessity. I hate putting my grinders in the dirt. The dirt gets in the windings. You hit the trigger and it just ruins the tool. So it's a neat way of keeping your table clean, and just old horseshoes put together to make a useful tool. This all breaks down, folds up, goes in your truck. You can fold this thing all the way over on itself and goes behind the seat or whatever you want.
So essentially this is made out of horseshoes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, and we have another piece of your art back here. Can you explain a little bit about this piece of art?
Again, this is 100-year-old pieces of iron. A lot of times I'll get them in the antique stores over in Randsburg. Just old rods and stuff. I forged them into claws. And this is going to go on the Dragon at Mesquite Continuation School. We've got a high school for bad kids. My grandson goes there. Anyway, they're being reformed. So this is going to go on their Dragon. Their whole theme is a dragon. So we made the Dragon probably 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago. I thought I'd add an arm to it. And it's getting pretty rusty on the head. It needs to be cleaned up. Hit it with a wire brush and a flap disc, a sanding disc, and then I'll color it purple with the torch like I did this one, and clear coat it.
And we're actually going to visit this dragon still today.
Oh, it's on Drummond Avenue.
It's on
It's
Drummond
near
Avenue.
China Lake Boulevard.
Right here in Ridgecrest,
We're
California.
in the north side of the road
Okay, wonderful.
from the Mesquite High School.
Thank you. Well, we're going to have a look in your workshop next and see how
Okay.
you do all this. Oh. Hang on. Inside of Pete's workshop here, where he does all his work and art, and you're going to show us a few of your tools of the trade.
All right, this is the main tool right here. This was purchased along with a 100-pound little giant power hammer from Raymond LaRosa in Homewood Canyon up there in Trona. He brought the hammer from Canada in the 50s. He bought it brand new. They still make them to this day. I heard they're $100,000.
Oh.
Could be wrong. his anvil. This is quite a piece. This is 3.5 C weight, but 3.5 times 112, I believe.
So how many pounds would that be?
They were within 10%, so they started at 398. It's at least 350 pounds.
All right.
So yeah, it's quite the counterweight there.
Yeah.
Then we have the forge. I made this one. This is, I think, my 9th forge. This one I made with the back door so you can put swords all the way through.
Right.
Sometimes I'll take these 100-year-old drill bits, and drilled and dynamited all the mine shafts and aqueduct and all the roads across America with these. They can be found at any antique store. And I will put them in here, get them red hot, and pound them into a big blade. This has a lot of work to go.
So this is part of the way through the process.
This is, well, you want to know the truth?
Let's have a look.
Gavin Newsom's ready to release 70,000 hardened criminals, while Biden's trying to collect all our guns.
So
And I thought we'd pound out some battle bars for home defense.
So you have quite a few orders.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
I haven't met a man or woman that didn't want one yet.
Well, I can lift 90 pounds. This is pretty heavy.
I'm going to cut a lot of weight out of here.
Yeah.
You should be able to slice rice paper with it when I'm done.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Now, a lot of these hammers, they teach kids nowadays that you never hit a hammer with another hammer. Well, that used to not be true. A lot of these hammers, I have like a world-class collection of blacksmithing hammers here. Most of them are called set hammers. They're actually annealed. They're soft on this end and hard on this end. They're meant to sit. Here's a swage block. This happens to be a fuller. The swage would be the opposite of this. But each one of these contours fits 2 corresponding hammers, the one that fits in it and the mirror image of it. So all of them are set hammers though. They're all soft. This one's a set hammer. This is meant to place it in the corner and place your blow here. They won't chip like a regular hammer.
Right.
So I use all these to shape metal. Like I made flames out of those.
Okay, so let's have a look at that. So what did you make this out of?
Those were, I bought the billets from a catalog and then I just get them red hot and draw them out and flame every one, so every spear point on the fence is different.
Right. So that goes on top of the fence?
Yeah, those are the fence points. You flip them over
that way.
and weld them on top of the pickets.
This way.
Yeah.
So you certainly wouldn't have someone coming over your fence if you have those on there?
Right.
Probably not.
I actually live about a block from Mesquite High School, so I put little balls on top of mine.
Yes.
So I don't want the kids hurting each other, so here's what mine look like.
Alright, let's come over here and have a look.
I'm making a picket fence out of used oil sucker rods. So I got these are like the cost of scrap steel. They cost about 1/5 what a regular steel would cost, and this is super steel. This is the oil company spent top dollar. These go thousands of feet underground. They're 30 feet long, and there's a big knuckle on either end.
So this is all recycled materials?
Yep, again, this is from my home fence.
Green concept,
yeah.
Recycle, repurpose.
So I take those threads, get them red hot, and pound them out to a point, and then I take weld a little ball on them.
Okay.
Because I don't want the kids bang, smacking each other's heads on them or anything.
Okay.
So this is going to run through solid bars with holes pierced in them.
So I see
every other
some
one, since I only get 2 with the knuckles per 30 feet, I take every other one and draw them out to a point, split them, peel them back, and I made tools to do all this stuff. I have a swage I built, a spring-loaded swage there, actually 2 of them, to make these marks. And then so that I don't lose anywhere, I draw this out to a point, to a flame. This knuckle goes in the middle, and every other one is this, like this.
So these are used for outside, but you also make things for inside as well. So we're going to have a look at some of that still today as well. So we're going to go to Mesquite, and we're going to have a look at the dragon next. And we'll talk about that.
Sounds good.
We'll be back in a moment. We're here at Mesquite High School, where Pete has created one of his artworks, the dragon, which has shining red eyes at night. So Pete's just going to explain a little bit about this piece of work. We brought the dragon arm and hand with us, and of course art is always evolving. So Pete, just tell us a little bit about this piece of work.
This one, they came, said they had a very limited budget, but their school theme was the dragon. And they had actually hired an artist to draw a dragon on a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. The dragon was about 1 inch tall, but it looked exactly like this guy.
Okay.
So this was a very easy piece. We made it look just like the picture. Didn't get creative at all. I added the arm. This is my piece. We hammered the claws out of 100-year-old iron, Brandsburg, and I live right across the street, practically a block from here, and I noticed this is 20 years old, over 20 years old maybe now. It's got a lot of rust and it's in need of a facelift, so I thought I'd come over and clean it up and turn it all purple with my torch like I like to do, like I just did this one, and I would add the claw. I have all the brackets to anchor it to the rock right here in the middle back here. I think it'd be plenty strong.
And how did you make this dragon wing here?
We cut it out, drew it freehand on a sheet of steel, cut it out by hand, and every one of these little marks is a hammer blow, and then we just made the veins, made it look like kind of a bat wing or dragon wing. All these pieces were pounded out, all the belly scales were pounded out. These were just made from pieces of pipe. Like I said, we didn't get too creative. I wanted to hang an earring up here, but upper management wouldn't let me. If you come around the back, you can see where they had me put a hatch door in here and a padlock so they can change the eyeballs if they ever need to. They're red, they glow in the dark.
So this is all made
Oh yeah.
Okay, well let's have a look at someone's yard, someone's home. And we'll have a look and see what kind of art you make for people's homes, inside and out. Okay, so we have some art here from Pete. This is an outside piece. We are in someone's front yard, and we do have permission to be here. So Pete, if you want to just to tell us a little bit about what this piece is made out of and how you made it.
This one actually started out with an 8-foot-long, 100-year-old drill bit that I built that forge to forge this flower. Got to be really careful. It is a man-eater. It is sharp. If you get too close, you could get bit.
Okay.
100-year-old drill bit. So these pits are from rotting in the desert forever. And then my weld shop is right across the street from the salvage yard, and I noticed some of the 100-year-old iron when I saw it in the pile. So I cut it. I think it came from an old mining site. So these roots are forged from 100-year-old iron. Not every one of them. I can see this piece is a little bit newer, but these are definitely, you can see the grain in it. There are pieces of iron. And wrapped it around a beautiful rock that was on our property.
Okay.
And
we placed it on
did it
this
for the
base.
cause. Yep.
Yes.
Every one of these petals and leaves is drawn freehand on a sheet of steel, cut out freehand. And every mark is a hammer blow. Every single one of these is a hammer blow. All around the edges and every little pock mark. And then we assemble the flower so it looks real nice. We make our own rivets. One guy holds it there, it says just like that. The other guy goes underneath and puts a little weld there, and then we assemble it on the roots. And it's just, they go together real natural.
Wonderful.
These are all meant to move. You can roll it right onto your front porch. There's big sealed bearing casters underneath. These all have a skirt on them, so you can actually take the skirt all the way off, put forks underneath it, put it right on your porch, roll it up into place, and then drop the skirt down. This pan is not full of rocks. It's only about 1 inch deep.
Okay.
And it got these river rocks. And they're all polished up, makes it look real nice.
Wonderful. Excellent. Well, thank you. And we'll have a look at a couple more here that they have.
Here's an extremely crude one. This is how I started.
Okay, so this is the
This
beginning.
is a garden rake. This is an old garden rake that was in the trash. I undid the tines, flipped it all the way around, made a little stem out of it, and I thought, first time I saw the 100-year-old drill bits laying in the desert, I thought it looked like a blossoming rose, believe it or not. All the different flakes of rust. See how it kind of looks like a flower?
Yes.
So this is one of my very first ones. It's in a piece of, looks like petrified wood that got ran over by a volcanic lava flow. Actually cooked and cracked the wood right in its place. So.
Wonderful. Okay. So Pete, you've made a few more of these as well. What's this one called?
This is the Pleiades, or the Seven Sisters. It's got 7 flowers on it. Again, it's forged from 100-year-old iron. I don't know if you can see in here what happens when you pound on iron and you don't keep it at a yellow heat. It starts to shred like spaghetti. See it? This is iron, this is iron, this piece is iron.
And what were these made from? Because it looks different.
Old rotten metal.
Rotten metal.
Yeah, this one came right out of the salvage yard across the street.
All right, well we have some more of these wonderful sculptures here. What is this one called?
This is the Pleiades, or the Seven Sisters.
Yes.
It's got 7 flowers. Again, I forged it out of 100-year-old iron. All these pieces are, these ones with the grain, the twisted lines, and the shredding are all 100-year-old iron. This is newer pieces. Again, we just drew them freehand. Every one of them is different. And assembled them, made our own rivet in here. Every mark's a hammer blow.
Right, and we have a much bigger version of this here.
Yeah, this I named after the loudmouth football player back east, El Ocho Stinko, I call this one.
Okay.
It's 6'4" and it has 8 buds on it.
And it's made with the same wood repurposed.
Yeah, this is actually a 100-year-old drill bit.
Okay.
Right here, I split it into thirds and spliced it into a piece of iron up above. So this is actually probably Swedish tool steel from prior to the turn of the century. So probably 1890s, 1900s,
Right.
early 1900s came over here.
Wonderful.
And every piece is handmade, every blow. These again have casters underneath there and skirts that come off. You could lift this right off, put forklift forks under there, put it in the back of your truck and take it home.
Wonderful. Okay. So you make some things that you can use for inside as well. These here are woks. So I'm actually going to pick one up and tip it over to show our audience. These.
That one's quite heavy.
Yes, it's quite heavy. So what did you make this out of?
Again, a piece of harrow disc, so it's an old farm disc for plowing that I got at the antique store in Randsburg.
Right.
This is about twice as thick as I like to make them. This is 3/8 and kind of heavy. It's great for camping. This one's half as thick. This is supposed to be a big puffer fish with lips and you can hang your utensils actually from his duck feet.
Right.
And you can slice lemons or limes on his dorsal fin or his tail fin there. Hi, Hardy. My dog's inside barking. And so those are usable.
Make your fried rice.
You can make it and then call them to dinner right here with the old, this was an Expire cylinder. That one's now a mooring bell.
Of course, being an artist, you're going to have a lot of your art in your home. And thank you for inviting us to your home here to show us a few of your pieces. So this piece here is one that you made. Can you tell us a little bit about it, please?
Yeah, keep in mind it is Touch It and You Bought It Tuesday.
Okay.
And this one was a gift to my wife, so you'd have to wrestle her for this. This is a heart. And it is all made out of solid steel. I forged all this around the anvil horn, pock-marked all the metal, put hammer blows on everything. It's got so many hearts that I asked you how many hearts you saw. A room of 10 people, everybody would come up with a different number.
Okay, so how many hearts does it have?
Oh my gosh. I would have to count them again. I've counted them so many times. It depends on how you count them.
Well, maybe
How many do you see?
Maybe the audience can work it out for themselves.
There's hearts that you don't know about. There's hearts for kids underneath. So
Right.
if you're so short, you can't see the up there. You can see down here.
Okay, well,
There's hearts on hearts. There's
Hearts
3,
on
4,
hearts.
5, 6 under there. 7, 8, 9 with the big one. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. These are to cover the screws in the back.
Right.
There's banjo holes cut on the back of
Okay.
these. Oh well, there they are. Little banjo holes. So these are just hand forged little hearts.
So we'll leave the audience to count the hearts on this particular piece.
Yeah, it's on our brochure. How many hearts do you see?
Okay. Well, Pete, you turned something that's just a very practical, everyday item into a work of art here. And so this is our last piece that we're going to showcase from you. I'd like to say thank you so much for spending the time today with us, showing us all these amazing pieces of art that you make and your workshop and studio. And thank you so much for being part of this wonderful interval that we're having at our concert.
All right.
Thank you so much.